Well, everybody, I just have to ask one question. Do you believe in magic? Because I sure don't.
Jordan hair voodoo.
Ooh.
I'm going to rip that jersey off your face and throw it out the window.
What is up, everybody, and welcome back to a brand new episode of House Divided College Football Show. I'm your host, Micah, and we are here today to talk about one thing, the death of Sooner Magic. And it happened. It was a great game. Roll Tide. Let's jump into it. So, Alabama right here. They were down. It was 17-0, second quarter. Didn't look good. Most people were probably ready to go to bed. Kalen DeBoer and Brent Venables over here, they were looking the same, dressed a lot alike, like the Spider-Man meme. Couldn't really tell them apart. I think that started to get in everybody's head, maybe. But they started off really slow. Can't make excuses like that. That's what Kane Womack said in the press conference this week. But Alabama was able to mount a comeback, and they ended up winning the game at a score of 34-24. They beat Oklahoma in Norman at night in a revenge game. They beat us twice the last 2 years, but we beat them in the playoffs, so that's what matters. John Mateer did play good. Oklahoma's a great team. Their defense did incredible, but Bama kicked it into high gear. We had a defensive score. I got the clip right here with our boy Xavier Brown, number 2 on the defense, the real number 2. Sorry, Ryan Williams, you got to earn that number back. But Xavier Brown had an amazing pick play like he did in the Tennessee game, exactly looking down the cone of the quarterback, just like he did with Joey Aguilar. He did the same thing with John Mateer. Also, we had our boy right here, Jeremy Bernard, amazing catch. He mossed this guy, was able to get an amazing catch. He was honestly surprised. We were all surprised and shocked. It was an amazing game. They were able to pull off the W. Like I said, in Norman, Ty Simpson and the boys got the job done. Job is not done. We are coming for Indiana. So, Kirk Cinetti, you say Google me. But I'm telling you this. We're ready for the upset, and you better be ready to Google the Crimson Tide and Kalen DeBoer. Roll Tide. What happened with Oklahoma, but their entire team fell apart. They had a 17-point lead. They blew it. They're like the horse meme. They started out really good, and they absolutely just fell apart. But they also are now 0-5 in playoff games. They have not won a single playoff game since the beginning of the playoffs. And then also their kicker, who won the kicking award this year, he unfortunately overkicked one, according to the ref, and that's not reviewable. So the ref said, "Hey, it didn't go directly above the uprights. It's not good." And then he actually kicked it short. He got in his head and messed up. So it was incredible. We were able to score 24 unanswered points, which was amazing. Hey guys, so the next game we have is actually a game that took place at Kyle Field. Texas A&M hosted Miami in the first round of the playoffs. And honestly, this game was kind of not, it wasn't bad, but not a lot happened. Both teams, it was super windy. Both teams really couldn't get anything to happen with the ball for most of the game. They just continually had a lot of 3 and outs, just kind of kept going that way. And then they ended up winning the game by 3 points. They were able to, they both kicked field goals, and then in the end, Miami was able to score. Actually, A&M looks like they were going to score. Miami was able to stop the score, and then Miami, they were able to just make it happen. They scored, and then they ended up winning the game. They beat Texas A&M at their own place. They shut down the Colt. We all know Texas A&M is a cult. I mean, they do the midnight yell. They have yell leaders. Miami, Carson Beck, Mario Cristobal got the job done. Kind of shocked everybody. Now they're going to go play Ohio State. Good luck to you. I hope the best. That game ended up being a 10-3 game, and it was awesome. Almost forgot. I really only watched 2 games, but apparently there were 2 other games on. I don't know if you saw. One was this game, and then one was also this game. Apparently Ole Miss won, and then also Oregon won as well. I don't know who they played, but apparently, I'm kidding. Ole Miss was able to beat Tulane 41-10, and then Oregon. No team should be doing this in the playoff, but Oregon ended up beating James Madison 51-34. They put the backups in. It was super embarrassing. These are not games we want. I'm not saying bar the teams from the playoff. Like, I think G5 should have the opportunity to get in. Now that comes with some stuff I talked about last time with expanding the playoff, and I'm also going to talk a little bit more about that. But it's just not what we want. We want the best teams, and I'm willing to give them one spot, but we need to expand, and I'll get more into that a little bit more later. But yeah, that was the playoff games, and then we also had the best bowl game known to man. Some people call it the People's National Championship. We had the Pop-Tart Bowl with the lovely Pop-Tarts. Georgia Tech played BYU. Now, it was a fun game. Georgia Tech looked great. They took a big lead. Kalani Sitake said no, and they were able to fight back. Had the boy Bear, and they were able to come back in that game. They ended up winning that game. They won 25-21. Very impressive game. Ultimately, I think both teams played pretty well, but BYU was able to get the dub in the end, and I only think that it's going to push them forward with the NIL money that they're going to be getting from the church and Crumble Cookie, and the fact that they've got their coach still with them. So I wish the best to the BYU Cougars. Congrats on your People's National Championship win in the Pop-Tarts Bowl. Now we move into our next segment, which is the infamous strawberry protein Pop-Tart has escaped. He is at large. We had the Team Sprinkles beat Team Swirls, and he did not want to get eaten. He said, "Not my dream yet." He jumped off. He left. He left his cookies and cream and cherry Pop-Tarts to be devoured by the team as their victory Pop-Tarts. But yeah, it was awesome. Notre Dame, little crybabies. They're jealous of the fact that they couldn't be there with the Pop-Tarts and with Georgia Tech and BYU. Yeah, but we love the Pop-Tart Bowl. It's probably the best bowl game known to man. Honestly, should be the national championship game. Maybe change the venue from Camping World in Orlando to something great. But the Pop-Tart Bowl should be the national championship. It's already the People's National Championship. Make it the national championship game. You can do it. You cowards, do it. I would like to reiterate for the millionth time, the G5 teams need their own playoff. They just aren't going to be able to win a playoff, but I will say this, expand to 16 teams, like I said previously, give them one spot, but I do think that they need to be, if they're going to get in and get that one spot, they need to get to be able to be in the top 15 and or undefeated. I don't know how to work all that in, but there's a way to. If there's a problem leaving them out, then just pay them their money. Have them get paid. Tell them thanks. There's a way to make it work where, we're either letting in one of these teams that just won, and just keeping the best teams in as well. And I think there's a solution to that. I don't hate G5 teams. I think that it was kind of embarrassing and that it was bad for TV ratings. It just wasn't what anybody really wanted to watch and wanted from a playoff game. I know I had the TV on in the background, wasn't really paying attention, kind of walked in a few times, but wasn't something I was watching actively like the Miami Texas A&M game or the Alabama Oklahoma game. Just was not what I think a playoff game should be, and I know a lot of other Americans agree with that as well. We could have had Texas and Michigan get in, or Vanderbilt. But yeah, definitely some things to look forward to in the future. I know there will be changes coming. As an Alabama fan, I am obligated to report on this. Now, this is not college football. It's not even NFL. But the UFL has a new head coach here in the state of Alabama. That would be the Birmingham Stallions. They have a new head coach. Former Alabama quarterback A.J. McCarron is now going to be the new head coach of the Stallions. Congrats to A.J. Excited to see what's going to happen with the Stallions, and we're definitely going to be going to see a game next year. Okay, speed updates. Utah head coach Kyle Whittingham is now the new head coach at Michigan. They did not go with Biff Poggi. Pretty sad to see that. But Kyle, congratulations. He's a good coach. Honestly, hope that this he does well. Either whether it's 10 years long or whether it's a short-term solution. Definitely think he is a good fit for that job, for what they need right now. And he can be a new type of Michigan man for them and be the Michigan man that they need. Also, another Michigan team, Michigan State. Sad to say, but Alabama quarterback coach and former offensive coordinator and kind of like a co-offensive coordinator this last season, Nick Sheridan is going to be the offensive coordinator at Michigan State. So congrats to Coach Sheridan. Sad to see you go. We also have some news out of the transfer portal. Transfer portal is opening on Friday, and we have two from the Auburn Tigers are leaving. That would be number 1, Cam Coleman. He is going to be, they're saying maybe Alabama or Texas A&M could be big ones. Who knows? LSU could be lurking. Everybody says watch out for Lane this year. You never know who's going to get Cam Coleman. But also another one that's going to be coming up, that is going to be Deuce Knight, Auburn, backup quarterback. He is going to be hitting the portal as well. He knows that he is not going to be starting. Not really good for the Auburn Tigers and for head coach Alex Golish. But who knows? The portal giveth and the portal taketh. And we'll see what happens with the transfer portal opening up soon. Okay, guys, we have a couple of predictions to wrap up the show. That would be our game 1. That is going to be the Reliant Quest Bowl that comes on tomorrow. That is going to be the Vanderbilt Commodores versus the Iowa Golden Eagles. I honestly think that Vanderbilt will win this game. I think Iowa will try to put up a fight. They're still a good team. I think it'll be a fun one to watch, but I think Diego Pavia and the boys will get it done, get the win for Vandy, giving the SEC a good bowl game win. We're not doing too hot. Tennessee already lost tonight. Very sad to see that. They lost by 2 points, 30-28 tonight against Illinois. That's a win for the Big Ten. But ultimately, I do think that the Vanderbilt Commodores will win that one. Next, we move on to the Cheez-It Citrus Bowl. That's going to be Texas versus Michigan. I think that Michigan will put up a fight. I think Texas will put up a fight. Now, a lot of people are saying that they think that Michigan's going to not necessarily win, but they're going to cover. I think Michigan has a chance to win. But ultimately, I think that Texas probably will win, but I would love to see Michigan beat Texas. I'm kind of 50-50 on this. So I honestly think I'm going to go with a last-minute decision here. I think that Michigan is going to beat Texas. Like we say on the show, horns down. And yeah, sorry to my Texas fans out there, but give me Michigan. I think Biff Poggi and the boys get it done. I think they cover. Let's make it happen. Okay, this one's easy. Las Vegas Bowl. Fortunately, I have to go against my boys from Nebraska. I just don't think that they're going to win. Now, they could pull a win out. I would love them to. But I'm going to go with Utah over Nebraska, unfortunately. I just don't think Nebraska's really got much left in the tank, and they've got some injuries going on. But who knows? Maybe Emmett Johnson balls out. I would love for Nebraska to win. I want to be wrong. But I think Utah will win this one, even without Kyle Whittingham. And then we move on to our next game, our Friday night game on New Year's Eve. That will be the Cotton Bowl, Ohio State, Miami in Arlington, Texas. I think both teams are going to put up a fight. Ohio State's a great team. Miami's a great team. You're going to have one or two things happen. You're either going to have Carson Beck show up, and it's going to be a very close game and test Ohio State, or you're going to have Carson Beck make a lot of mistakes, and Ohio State will capitalize off of those plays. Now, who do I think is going to win? I would love for Miami to win, but I think Ohio State wins this one. They've looked really good all year. I think they're the more dominant team. Not to say that Miami's bad, but I think Ohio State is more consistent. I think they win this one. We head to Miami for the kickoff game of the day, and that is going to be Oregon playing Texas Tech. Now, I do think Oregon looks great. We got Dan Lanning. We got Dante Moore. But I think Joey McGuire and the boys at Texas Tech have a lot to say. I think this is their moment to prove things. Oregon has won a lot of games very closely. I think Texas Tech has won a lot of games very convincingly this season. And I'm going to say it. I think Texas Tech pulls off potentially. It wouldn't be an upset because they're a higher rank, but I think they kind of shock people because a lot of people, I think Oregon's going to win. I think Texas Tech wins this game in a close game to Oregon in the Orange Bowl in Miami. Next, we are moving on to my personal favorite game of the day, and that would be because my Alabama Crimson Tide is going to be in Pasadena, California, playing in the Rose Bowl against Fernando Mendoza, Heisman winner, and they've got Omar Cooper Jr., Kirk Cignetti's a great coach, comes from the Saban coaching tree. I have to respect him. Got to respect Mendoza. He's done amazing things. He's probably going to be the toughest quarterback our defense has faced all year. Now, the boys can't start off slow. We've said that. But give me Alabama to win this game. I think they're going to pull off an upset that is going to shock the world. And the number 9 team in the playoff will beat the number 1 team in a close game in Pasadena. I think the boys, no job's not done. Now, are we going to win a natty? I don't know. But I think this is anybody's game. I don't think necessarily that this is going to be Indiana's game. Now, after that Oklahoma game, I think anything can happen for any team, especially Alabama. And I think that upset could be brewing. Now, I do think that two things could happen. Either A, we could back Mendoza into a corner because he is sometimes mistake prone. Now, Alabama, we got to get off to a strong start, and we have to maintain that standard, playing at our best. If Ty Simpson and the boys can make things happen, if we can get the run game even going a little bit, and of course, Xavier Brown and the boys, Bray Hubbard, everybody on defense. We got LT Overton back. If we can get things, going together and working, I think Alabama can get this win in the Rose Bowl. Kalen DeBoer and the boys can get it. But I will say this, Kurt Slinetti, Fernando Mendoza, much respect. Win or lose, you guys are great. And then moving on to our final game, we have the Sugar Bowl. We have the Georgia Bulldogs, Kirby Smart, Gunnar Stockton are going to be facing Pete Golding and Chambliss. Great quarterback, probably one of the most wild card quarterbacks in the playoff right now. He's a pretty good one. But yeah, they're going to be facing Ole Miss without Lane Kiffin. Honestly, I think that they will put up a fight. But I just don't think that they're going to beat Georgia. I think Georgia looks really dominant. They look better than when they played Ole Miss the first time. And I think that Georgia has a lot to prove. They lost this game last year to Notre Dame, and I don't think they're going to repeat that same mistake. So I give me the Georgia Bulldogs to win. They will move on to play probably Ohio State. And I look forward to seeing what's going to happen next. I hope that all these picks are right. Now, that may not happen, but I would love for Alabama to keep going, Georgia to keep going, Ohio State to keep going, and even Texas Tech. So, yeah, with that being said, who's to say that an Alabama-Oregon game would be good, but Alabama-Texas Tech would also be fun. But with that being said, this has been the House Divided College Football Show for this week. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you next time, hopefully with some good news and continuing on the playoff for Alabama. Roll Tide.